Well, we find ourselves here on a beautiful early March morning in the hills north of Atlanta on the northern border of Georgia, just south of Blairsville. And it's we just came out of Miami at 89 to 90 degrees, and it's 31 degrees here. So it's a smidge chilly. But we also find ourselves here at Track Rock site. Beautiful morning. And this is the Track Rock Petroglyph site. Highly contested because the symbols found here, many of them are identical to the Mayans, who are believed to have disappeared from Central America, and now they found monuments and petroglyphs, carvings here in northern Georgia, central Georgia, South Carolina, and parts of North Carolina. Here is one of the sites to visit, and Track Rock Gap is fun to get to. We just came off from Booger Hollow Road to get here, and we have survived. So please bear with me on this sign. It's a long one, and I don't do pronunciations too well, but here we go. Track Rock Gap is one of the most significant rock art sites in the southeastern United States. It consists of 6 table-sized soapstone boulders containing hundreds of symbols and figures. The carvings were made by Native Americans beginning around AD 1000. While it is not certain the exact origin of the carvings, the Cherokee named for this gap for Detsunak Saganya, where there are tracks, or Deganilalundaha, branded place. The carvings at the Track Rock were created in one of 2 ways. Many of the figures were created by pecking. Hard rocks or hammerstones were used to create shapes by repeated blows of the same spot until a desired shape was created. Alternatively, some of the figures were created by incising or carving into the rock. A hard stone would be rubbed back and forth to create the design. The carving at Track Rock were likely made by several different reasons. Some of the carvings may have been made to symbolize an event that occurred or to influence a future event. Other carvings may have been made as part of the ritual activities. Many of the figures represent spirit beings or the actions of spirits. Perhaps the best way to understand Track Rock is a sacred place for the people who created these carvings. Well, here we are, the petroglyphs. I'm going to try to walk you through this and identify as many as I can, and they do give you a little bit of a map. But it's just sort of amazing. It just sits here, people living all around it, not realizing the importance of this site. This says, there was common belief among the Native Americans that spirits kept animals underground. So, when game animals disappeared, that is where they were to be found. Animals would enter and exit through the cracks in the rocks. The feet and the tracks on boulders 6 create the impression of humans and animals walking to the apex of the rock, beginning at ground level. Therefore, the tracks seen on this boulder may represent the animals and spirits coming back into the world. Now, this is a boulder that's just in front of us to the right, and here's some of the human tracks. Okay, there's bird tracks right there. And that's a bear tracks are down here, right in here. More bird tracks. So let's look at the stone. And here's the stone starting here. That almost looks like deer tracks there. But you can see up in here. I hope you can see some of this, and up in there. Now there's several of these carved figures, like a shield. Okay, and up in here you can see bird tracks. Now down in here you see the human foot. And there's a bunch of these. There's another one right there. Another one right there. So, a little difficult with the sun and the light we've got. But you see the round carvings right here? The circular carvings, these are also found in the petroglyphs of the Mayans in South America. And this rock has just dozens of carvings on it. And I hope you can see them. They're not made naturally. They're carved in there. While it is difficult to specifically identify many of the carvings, the following figures have been positively identified. Can you find these symbols? Here's a human figure, the human foot, bear track, and bird track. Also, the cross and the circle, also found on pottery 1,000 years ago. Cupule, created by the representative pecking, may have served to release spiritual powers of the rock. Petroglyphs are carvings in stone made by native people. The carving at the track rock were created by different people over many years. This is why it is common for carvings to overlap. Each carving tells a story or represents significant events to the person who made it. A modern recording of the carvings on track rock boulder 4, which we'll look at next. The serrated edge shown here may have been made as a result of someone repeatedly rubbing the same area to create a rasping sound. Try to get you as good a picture as I can of this. This is rock 4, and I mean there are dozens of carving on that. Also want to make sure you got this information. For more information, visit this site here. This can be hard to see. This is stone 4, and as we're looking at it, you can see the structural design of something here. Very difficult to see. There's a bird track right there. See the bird track right here. There's another one of the indentations, actually several of them right there. Another bird track right here. And like I said, you actually have to be here to look at this. I'm not giving you a fair look at this stone because of the way the sun is shining in. here's stone number 3. And do you see the circles that are here? These are also patterns found in the Mayan culture. And we're talking 3,000 miles away or better. And another structural here. You see the square? So we are looking at, there's dozens of carvings here. There's another one that I think you can see right here. Let me get over a little better and see if you can see. Now I know you see the bird track right there. And a human hand right there. And this is some sort of structure. And another structure here. Also, graffiti artists have carved a lot of letters in this too. So unfortunately, the damn fools you'd like to hang have defaced this. And here is another, can you see this right here? Indentation of a structure or a monument. Also, there's several of these indentations to release the animals from the stone or from the ground. I hope you can see them. Another human handprint there. There's another bird's foot. I know you can see that right there. And here is an almost perfect example of that shield or a circle with a cross in it. See the cross? And somebody spent a lot of time. This is another, you can see the place where they release the animal, but also this pattern here, found in the Mayan culture, and several indentations all the way across the rock. Oh, the sun has come up a little bit more, so here might be a better look at one of the stones. Now, I've traveled up from Miami, Florida, so I'm about 500 plus miles that I've come up to see this. Another one of those circular patterns that's found in the Mayan culture. And you can see the relief on that rock. So I've traveled over 500 miles to come up and see this. And let me tell you, it's worth it. It is a very spiritual place. So again, if you're looking for proof or artifacts of our native culture, track rock, petroglyphs is the place you gotta see. And again, thank you very much.